Marietta College. $1,200 of your closest friends across 100 acres. This is home.
Coming up today on WCMO NewsCenter 15, the search for survivors in the collapsing of Mandalay's Sky Villa continues.
And a new ruling on abortion in Alabama is set in place.
All this and more coming up on WCMO NewsCenter 15 starts now. Hello and welcome to today's edition of WCMO NewsCenter 15. I'm Savannah Stickley.
And I'm Zach Wurstel. Topping our news today.
The Sky Villa condominium, which was marketed as having an earthquake-resistant foundation, once stood as a symbol of Mandalay's rapid urbanization, is featuring the largest rooftop bar and city with a state-of-the-art equipment after a devastating earthquake struck March 28th. The 12-story complex became a tomb with 5 of its floors buried underground. The quake killed over 2,000 people. Many people are still desperately searching for their loved ones. The earthquake's destruction has been widespread, with more than 500 buildings suffering near total damage as rescue teams comb through the debris. Volunteers continue their efforts.
In December, Russian authorities raided the apartment of Andrei Kutov, the owner of a travel agency offering tours for men, which was a service that caught the attention of police, enforcing strict anti-gay laws. Kutov was severely beaten and pressured to confess to running a gay-focused agency, which he denied. Weeks later, Kutov was found dead in his prison cell under suspicious circumstances, with authorities claiming suicide. His death highlights the harsh crackdown on LGBTQ+ rights in Russia, which has intensified since the start of the Ukraine war. Following a 2023 ruling, the labeled LGBTQ+ movements as extremists, the government has escalated repression with rapids of gay clubs and arrest of activists. The anti-gay sentiment, fueled by state media, has led to an exodus of LGBTQ+ individuals, although some, like Kutov's family, continue to seek justice for victims of the regime's persecution.
It's been a breezy week.
Let's see if it'll get more rain for the May flowers.
Landon is here with the current conditions. Let's see what's going on right now, Landon.
Well, Savannah, we're definitely in for another round of April showers before we get any of those May flowers. Right now it feels like about 65 degrees outside with cloudy conditions. And the UV index is reading at a moderate level of 4, good air quality level of 32, and a low pollen count, mostly thanks to the heavy downpour of rain we had last night into early this morning. The winds will be running around the west at 13 miles per hour, again, because of that rain we just had. The humidity is a very high level of 90%. The sun rose about 6 after 7 this morning and should be setting about 8 minutes before 8 o'clock this evening. Now, this past week, I think it's safe to say that the winter weather is definitely over and done with, but we've kind of been teeter-tottering back and forth between extreme warmth and relative coolness, and this upcoming weekend's not going to be any different in regards to those flip-flopping temperatures. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the program when I return for the 5-day forecast. But until then, back to you guys at the desk.
A federal judge ruled on March 31st that Alabama cannot prosecute doctors for reproductive health organizations for assisting patients in traveling out of state to obtain abortions. This decision came after Alabama's Attorney General Steve Marshall suggested criminal charges for doctors recommending out-of-state abortion care. The judge, Myron Thompson, determined that such prosecution would violate both the First Amendment and the constitutional right to travel. The ruling comes as abortion access has become increasingly restricted in states like Alabama. Following the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe v. Wade, while Marshall may appear, the decision provides relief to organizations like the Yellowhammer Fund, which has faced legal threats for helping patients access out-of-state abortion services.
On March 9th, Rumeysa Öztürk, a graduate student at Tufts University, learned that her personal information had been added to the Canary Mission website, which accused her of anti-Israel activism. Based on an opinion essay she co-wrote criticizing the university's stance on the Gaza conflict. The U.S. government later revoked her visa, alleging she supported Hamas, a terrorist organization. Öztürk's friends and professors were shocked as they described her as an introverted, non-political student with no history of activism. The ACLU filed a court complaint arguing that her detention violated her First Amendment rights. A federal judge ruled she could not be deported. While the case is reviewed, her arrest is captured on surveillance video, sparked widespread outrage.
Coming up, a Fort Fry student gets to meet Governor Mike DeWine.
And West Virginia University medicine Camden Clark earned quality honors.
Stay with us, there's more after the break.
At Marietta College, teamwork goes beyond athletics. At Marietta, we promote individuality, creativity, and resilience. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, we are Pile Nation. This is the time, this is the place. We are pioneers. We are Marietta College.
Hey, this is Kevin Love from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, many of us feel anxious. Mindfulness can help you ease those feelings. My nonprofit is partnering with Headspace to offer free content to help you stress less. Head to kevinlovefund.org/headspace.
Here's to the straggly ones, the first ones. Hey, I look good with this ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The itchy ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones. And the absolutely filthy ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
The Washington County Carteens 4-H Club received the Ohio 4-H Innovator Award for its work to reduce the number of fatal car crashes in the Washington County. The group of young people has organized a seatbelt safety week for teen drivers at local high schools since 2022. It works with the Marietta Highway Patrol and the school resource officer to reinforce the importance of not only wearing a seatbelt, but driving safely without distraction. 4-H says its aim is to see that every child has valuable strengths and real influence to improve the world around them. In schools and businesses across the region, there are valuable contributions and learned how to make improvements to the world. Work with them are able to work every day in our communities.
On March 12th, Fort Fry FFA member Alexis White had the opportunity to meet Governor Mike DeWine. Governor Mike DeWine's State of the State address in the Ohio State House. She was personally recognized in his speech and had the chance to meet him and the new Lieutenant Governor, Jim Tressel. Alexis was chosen for the honor from the office of the governor because of her role in FFA and other career readiness activities, such as her many internships. Career technical education helps students create a plan for their future and provides real-world experiences. As a result, White has discovered her passion for agricultural communications.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has signed legislation banning diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in public colleges and universities, along with enacting other significant changes. The bill will face opposition from student teacher civil rights groups and Democrats. Also limits faculty strikes, restricts classroom discussion on controversial topics, imposes new requirements including a mandatory civil education course for students. Critics argue it undermines academic freedom, collective bargaining rights, and Ohio's higher education system, with some warning it could harm the state's economy and reputation. Proponents, including the bill's sponsor, argue it will protect the intellectual diversity and address the enrollment challenges.
In other news, WVU Medicine Camden Clark has earned quality honors in 6 areas in the first Top Hospital Awards program by Castle Connolly. Castle Connolly Top Hospitals is a recognition awarded to hospitals that set the standard for excellence within specific medical procedures. The rankings are compiled based on clinical excellence, patient safety, patient outcomes, and physician expertise. 2 types of awards are presented nationally and state and metro. The 2 levels of awards: Gold Standard, which is the highest, and Top Hospital. To be eligible for inclusion, hospitals must meet the minimum number of admissions for a given procedure, which varies by service line and applies to both inpatient and outpatient admissions. At least 50 of the admissions must be inpatient, with the exception of procedures in gastroenterology and bariatrics.
College esports program started as a small club but is now ready for the future as a varsity program.
That's right. The Marietta College esports program started as a club in 2016, but quickly gained traction with students and soon became a varsity sport in 2018. The head coach, Derek Games, has been with the program since the very beginning. He was first the Overwatch coach before moving to take the position of head coach of the program. In an interview, Coach Games was asked, "What are your future plans for the esports program?"
We've always got something cooking here, it seems like. So some of the things we have in the pipeline are hopefully some more teams added to the overall roster of game titles that we've got. Maybe a Marvel Rivals team. Always, looking for some more equipment for the room to be able to provide the students with, the best experience possible, and just more support, whether that's, from our sponsors or our students, fans, the community, our alumni, just being able to provide them with, quality matches to watch, and our students with the experience that we provide here is all that we aim for. So.
Coming up, another well-known star is going to be featured in a musical by a Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award-winning author.
And Haley Lanham has what's trending in Real Talk.
Stay with us.
After the break.
When kids need medical care, they face life-changing experiences. They miss out on the things that make being a kid fun. Starlight Children's Foundation programs entertain and inspire hospitalized kids. Learn more at starlight.org.
There's a place for everyone at Marietta College. Our place is here as esports competitors. This is Marietta College Esports.
Welcome back to WCMO NewsCenter 15.
It's that time in our newscast to find out what's trending.
That's right, our very own Haley Lanham has the details on today's Real Talk.
Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Haley. And some good news to start your Thursday morning because firefighting crews at the Table Rock Complex fires in South Carolina rescued a dog near the fire lines last week. Now the dog will have a new home on the West Coast. Emergency responders spotted a scared pup last Thursday. They offered her food and showered her with love until animal control officers arrived. For now, the dog named Ember is staying at Greenville County Animal Care, and the firefighter who saved her traveled all the way from Oregon to help with the wildfires. Now he'll be taking a new friend back home with him. And he may be small, but 7-year-old Jackson is a big fan of the Philadelphia Phillies. Jackson was born without his left arm and just got his first prosthetic arm from the Shriners Children's Hospital. And he has decided to laminate it with the Phillies logo, his favorite team. Jackson says he loves going to Phillies games and seeing the players hit home runs. He says he loves his prosthetic arm and calls it his baby. His favorite Phillies include Bryce Harper and Alec Bohm. And a heartwarming story to end this Real Talk because a 13-year-old teen is well on his way to the Guinness Book of World Records. And yesterday, he took another step with Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd. You may remember DeVarjay, DJ Daniel, from President Trump's speech to Congress earlier this month. DJ took the oath, got a badge, a hat, and posed for the cameras with Sheriff Judd and some family members. It's his dream to become a real law enforcement officer someday. And that is all for Real Talk with Haley and what is trending here in the United States. See you real soon.
Thanks, Haley. James Taylor fans are going to get a treat. His classic songs are headed to the stage.
And Clint Eastwood's son hits the big screen.
Here's Landon with the Hollywood Minute.
Yes, that is right, Savannah. Recent stage musicals have featured the music of various artists from Michael Jackson, Tina Turner, and even The Temptations, amongst many others. Now, another well-known artist is going to be joining that list. James Taylor, Fire and Rain, is being developed by Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award-winning author Tracy Letts, and Tony Award winner David Cromer is set to direct. In other news, Clint Eastwood's son, Scott Eastwood, is part of the cast of Paramount Pictures' upcoming adaptation of Colleen Hoover's novel, Regretting You, which centers on the aftermath of a tragic car accident that leads to an exploration of past secrets and regrets. The drama is due to hit theaters on October 24th. Finally, here's a little blast from the past. Fathom Entertainment and Utopia have re-released Hal Needham's 80s BMX cult classic, Rad. It's the story of Crew Jones's desire to win a BMX race called Hell Track. The screening includes the never-before-seen, a Rad documentary, moderated by Rad superfan Ed Helms. That's all I have for Hollywood. For now, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Landon. Spring looks like it has finally arrived, at least for now.
I wonder what the temperatures will look like next week.
Well, Zach?
Landon.
Oh, sorry. Well, Landon is here with the details. Landon, what can we expect from Mother Nature for the rest of the week?
Well, as you can see here, we can be expecting some rainy conditions. The beginning portions of which are heading across the country in a northwesterly direction, starting from the northern end of Texas, stretching all the way up to the southern border of our neighboring state of Pennsylvania. It hasn't quite reached our neck of the woods of the Mid-Ohio Valley yet, but as we take a look at the regional map, we can see that pretty much the majority of our neighboring states to the south, namely West Virginia and Kentucky, are experiencing the brunt of that downpour as we speak. And over the course of the next 24 hours, it's going to be inching closer and closer to the Mid-Ohio Valley, our neck of the woods, particularly in Parkersburg and Marietta. So speaking of which, starting off the 5-day forecast, the weekend will officially begin tomorrow with an expected high of 59 on Friday, and those rainy conditions that I just mentioned will be arriving full force. As a result, the temperatures will be increasing on Saturday with an expected high of 74, most of that spike being caused by an additional set of thunderstorms. Then the temperatures will drop considerably on Sunday as the rainy conditions continue with an expected high of 50. Then, as we begin the next work week, we'll be in for a bit of a cooler week next week with a high of 53 and cloudy conditions, getting a bit cooler going into Tuesday with an expected high of 42 and some partly cloudy conditions. So, although spring is here, and like I said before, we've kind of been teeter-tottering on extreme warmth and relative coolness, it looks like compared to the relatively warm week we've had this week, the next week will be comparatively cooler. So I hope you haven't put away a lot of the cool clothing that you need to bundle up with. But we'll see what Mother Nature has in store for us as we get further and further through the month of April. That's all I've got for now. Until next time, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Landon. When we come back, Andrew will join us, coming up with an update from the world of sports.
See you later, alligator.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to the Midnight Snack Run. This is one tricky obstacle course. He's reaching, but he pushes it away. He's approaching a plate of iced cookies. He blows right by him. Oh, the fridge. Looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs a water bottle. Now he's just got to get out of there. Look what dropped from the sky. Don't do it, Dennis. That's the way you execute a Midnight Snack Run. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
The next is
Thanks for staying with us, and joining us for sports is Andrew.
Andrew, go on, tell us about it.
The Marietta College women's lacrosse team fought back from a large halftime deficit, but fell short, losing 15-12 to Ohio Northern University on Saturday, March 29th. After trailing 10-3 at halftime, Marietta rallied back in the second half with a strong performance from Hope Adams with 4 goals and Molly Dickens with 3 goals and 2 assists, but couldn't close the gap despite the solid effort from goalkeeper Abby May, who made 7 saves, and Elena Francis, who contributed 11 draw controls. The Pioneers fell to 4-8 overall and 0-3 in the Ohio Athletic Conference. Ohio Northern improved their record to 7-4 on the season and 1-1 in the OAC. The Marietta College graduate student Rachel Kazmierski was named to the Ohio Athletic Conference Softball Hitter of the Week on March 31st. This was the 4th time in her career that she has received this weekly honor. Kazmierski hit a team-leading .692 for the week, collecting 9 hits in 13 at-bats, also compiling a 1.077 slugging percentage. She hit safe in all 4 of the games throughout the week, extending her current hitting streak to 21 games in a row, a Marietta College record. In Marietta's win over schools like Hiram last Monday, She went 4 for 4 with 2 doubles and 5 runs batted in. 5 of her 9 hits last week were in fact doubles as well. It's a quick sports week here on this Thursday. That's all I got for you guys. My name's Andrew Shashinsky. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Andrew. And back with us at the desk is Landon for a last look at the forecast.
Well, long story short, we're in for a very wet and rainy weekend. Well, that's all we've got time for today. From all of us here at WCMO NewsCenter 15, Marietta College Broadcasting, thanks again for joining us. You can catch us on Thursdays at 12:30 and 6:30 during most weeks of the semester, or you can search for WCMO Television on YouTube.com. We won't be seeing you next week, but we'll be seeing you 2 weeks from now. Until then, have a great day.